Throughout over 1,000 years, the British monarchy has seen its share of epic battles, betrayals, and legendary stories. This isn't just about crowns and thrones, it's about legacy, power, survival, and the very evolution of a nation. Today, we're exploring shocking succession wars, transformative monarchs, and the stories of betrayal that helped shape modern Britain. The early British monarchy was anything but stable. From the Norman conquest to the Plantagenets and the House of Lancaster, bloodlines were determined by who had the most might, not just the rightful claim. This was a kingdom where the line between loyalty and betrayal was razor-thin. One of the earliest succession crises came with the death of King Henry I, who named his daughter Matilda as his heir, but when her cousin Stephen of Blois claimed the throne, a period known as the Anarchy ensued. England was in a civil war that lasted nearly 2 decades, marked by betrayal, backstabbing, and shifting loyalties, leading to widespread chaos. Few conflicts were as notorious as the War of the Roses, which split the houses of Lancaster and York in a brutal civil war over control of the throne. For 32 years, battles ravaged the land, alliances shifted, and blood was shed, all in pursuit of the crown. Key figures like Henry VI, Edward IV, and Richard III would see their legacies forged in war. Ultimately, it was Henry VII who would end the war by merging the two warring houses, giving birth to the Tudor dynasty. The Plantagenet family held the throne for nearly 300 years, but their end came with a succession of betrayals. The infamous story of Richard II, deposed by his cousin Henry Bolingbroke, highlights the power struggles that plagued the monarchy. The story of the British Empire arguably begins with William the Conqueror. After claiming victory at the Battle of Hastings in 1066, he introduced a new order, enforcing Norman customs and establishing a centralized monarchy. His reign set a precedent for the monarchy's influence over England and its territories. Elizabeth I's reign saw the rise of Britain as a global maritime power, known for her intelligence and resolve. She ushered in the Golden Age, supporting explorers like Sir Francis Drake and Sir Walter Raleigh. Her reign marked the beginnings of a global empire as Britain began staking claims in the Americas and beyond. George III's rule saw the British Empire reach a significant turning point as the American colonies rebelled, leading to the formation. The loss of the colonies reshaped Britain's strategy, leading it to focus on consolidating power in other regions, especially India. Under Queen Victoria, the British Empire reached its peak, stretching across continents. Victoria's reign, known as the Victorian era, was a time of cultural, industrial, and political change, reinforcing Britain's role as a global superpower. In 1215, the Magna Carta was signed, symbolizing the first major limitation on royal power. This document laid the groundwork for constitutional governance, mandating that even the king was subject to the law. The monarchy faced its greatest threat with the English Civil War, where Parliament and King Charles I were pitted against each other. The war ended with the execution of Charles I and the temporary establishment of a republic under Oliver Cromwell. Although the monarchy was later restored, the war's outcome signaled a permanent shift toward parliamentary power. The Glorious Revolution of 1688, where James II was deposed in favor of William and Mary, led to the English Bill of Rights. This document legally restricted royal authority, solidifying Parliament's power and setting the stage for a constitutional monarchy. Today's British monarchy is largely symbolic, with the power residing in Parliament. The monarchy's role has evolved into one of tradition and ceremonial duties, a far cry from the days when kings and queens held ultimate power. Henry VIII's quest for a male heir led to 6 marriages and England's break from the Catholic Church. His court was filled with betrayals, divorces, and executions, leaving a legacy of scandal that reshaped the monarchy and religion in Britain. Mary, Queen of Scots, became entangled in political and romantic plots that ultimately led to her execution by her cousin, Queen Elizabeth I. The rivalry and betrayal between these two queens is a tale of intrigue and tragedy. The abdication of Edward VIII in 1936 to marry Wallis Simpson, a twice-divorced American, shook the monarchy to its core. Edward's decision brought unprecedented scandal and nearly derailed the institution, forever changing royal protocols. Princess Diana's public life and tragic death became one of the modern era's biggest royal controversies. Her strained relationship with the royal family, coupled with her public outreach, reshaped the monarchy's image. The Tower of London, initially a fortress, became a notorious prison. Here, famous figures like Anne Boleyn met their end, and today it stands as a lasting monument to Britain's turbulent past. Windsor Castle is the longest occupied palace in Europe. For nearly 1,000 years, it has housed British monarchs, witnessing both moments of grandeur and turmoil. Buckingham Palace serves as both a residence and a stage for royal duties. Its grand halls and historic rooms tell stories of Britain's modern monarchy. From fierce battles for the throne to the relinquishing of power and royal scandals, the British monarchy has evolved through the age. These iconic stories continue to capture our fascination, shaping not only Britain's identity but also its legacy. As we journey through the royal past of Britain, from mighty kings to legendary battles, let's shift to the British Museum, a treasure trove of artifacts from around the world. But what's the story behind these ancient relics, and what's the museum's policy on their origins? Let's dive into the secrets and controversies that fill its halls. Welcome to the British Museum, a world-renowned institution filled with ancient treasures, mysteries, and stories that span thousands of years. The British Museum's walls hold some of the most influential artifacts of human history, collected from cultures around the globe. Today, we're stepping inside to explore the secrets and wonders that this institution has held for over 260 years. Founded in 1753, the British Museum was the world's first national public museum, meant to preserve and display artifacts that capture the legacy of human civilization. Its founder, Sir Hans Sloane, donated a collection of 71,000 artifacts and books. Since then, the museum has amassed nearly 8 million artifacts from all corners of the world. But what sets the British Museum apart is not just its age or vastness, but the stories behind each piece. From ancient Egypt to the classical world, Asia and beyond, every room is a journey through time, offering a glimpse into the cultures, beliefs, and daily lives of ancient peoples. One of the museum's most famous artifacts is the Rosetta Stone, an ancient Egyptian slab covered in inscriptions. Discovered in 1799, this artifact proved essential in deciphering Egyptian hieroglyphs, bridging the gap between the ancient and modern worlds. The Rosetta Stone contains the same decree in 3 scripts: hieroglyphics, Demotic, and Greek. It was this linguistic code that allowed scholars, most notably Jean-François Champollion, to decode hieroglyphs for the first time in 1822, opening up Egypt's ancient history to the world. This artifact, as a symbol of linguistic discovery, has since become one of the museum's most iconic pieces. Moving to the Parthenon Gallery, we encounter the Elgin marbles, a collection of Greek sculptures that tell the stories of gods, heroes, and legends. Carved by masterful Greek artists in the 5th century BCE, these sculptures originally adorned the Parthenon in Athens. But these marbles are also at the heart of a debate about cultural heritage. Brought to Britain by Lord Elgin in the early 1800s, the collection has been the subject of requests for repatriation from Greece, raising important questions about the ownership and display of ancient artifacts. Yet, despite the controversy, the Elgin marbles remain a centerpiece of the British Museum, representing both ancient Greece's artistic achievements and the ethical dilemmas surrounding artifact repatriation. In the Egyptian galleries, we find mummies from the land of the pharaohs, preserved for thousands of years to reach us today. Ancient Egyptians believed that preservation of the body was essential for the soul's journey in the afterlife. The British Museum's collection of mummies offers a profound connection to these beliefs, from the intricate sarcophagi to the personal items buried with them. Each mummy holds its own story. The British Museum has even conducted CT scans on some mummies, revealing insights into their health, diet, and causes of death. The museum's team has worked to preserve these artifacts respectfully, uncovering details without disturbing the physical remains. The mummies reveal much about Egyptian rituals and beliefs about life, death, and the afterlife. The Assyrian reliefs, dating back to the 9th century BCE, depict hunting scenes, war conquests, and royal ceremonies from one of the ancient world's most powerful empires. These massive, detailed carvings were crafted to demonstrate the might of the Assyrian kings. Assyrian kings used these reliefs to display their dominion over both humans and nature. The British Museum's collection, which includes artifacts from the palaces of Nineveh and Nimrud, reveals a glimpse into the life of kings like Ashurbanipal, who ruled the Neo-Assyrian Empire at its height. The detail in each relief shows just how much art and power were intertwined, with visual storytelling playing a central role in Assyrian rule. The museum's collection extends to the east, where it displays one of the finest collections of Japanese samurai armor. Japan's warrior class, the samurai, followed a strict code of honor called Bushido, which emphasized loyalty, courage, and skill. These pieces aren't just historical artifacts, they're works of art. The craftsmanship behind the armor, from iron helmets to intricate lacquerwork, is a testament to the skills of Japan's artisans. The British Museum's collection includes armor dating back to the Edo period, offering a rare look into the martial and cultural values of Japan's past. One of the museum's most debated collections is the Benin bronzes. These beautifully crafted plaques, made in what is now Nigeria, depict scenes from the Benin Kingdom and were originally used to decorate the royal palace. The Benin bronzes reveal the complexity and artistry of the Benin Kingdom, showcasing its culture and royal lineage. However, their acquisition is controversial. They were seized by British forces in 1897 during the Benin punitive expedition. Like the Elgin marbles, the Benin bronzes raise questions of rightful ownership and the ethics of display. Efforts are underway to return some of these bronzes to Nigeria, but their presence in the British Museum continues to be a topic of debate. One of the most fascinating objects in the museum is the clay tablet containing part of the Epic of Gilgamesh, one of the world's oldest literary works. Dating back to ancient Mesopotamia, this epic tells the story of a king's quest for immortality and contains profound insights about human life, friendship, and mortality. The British Museum has one of the most complete collections of Mesopotamian artifacts, including tablets that preserve ancient stories and laws. The Epic of Gilgamesh tablet not only connects us to one of the earliest civilizations, but also to the timeless human themes of life, loss, and the search for meaning. The British Museum is more than just a building filled with ancient objects. It's a living archive of human history and creativity. Each artifact here, from Egyptian mummies to Japanese samurai armor, offers a window into the past, and yet these artifacts also reflect our present-day questions about heritage, ethics, and ownership. These treasures have survived wars, natural disasters, and time itself, so they could speak to us today. As we walk these halls, we're not only exploring ancient cultures, we're reflecting on what they mean to us now. The British Museum, with all its mysteries and wonders, remains a place where history truly comes alive. Thank you for joining us on this journey through one of the world's most fascinating institutions. If you're loving this deep dive into history, hit that subscribe button. There's so much more to uncover, and you won't want to miss a single story. Subscribe and stay curious.